All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We're going to be going through live order flow analysis. And the goal here is to use order flow as an edge, understand the participants in the auction process. We're able to see them with a lot more clarity and insight using Bookmap. We'll go through understanding the levels and specific areas with the order flow in Bookmap and define them and just understand how to read them and put this into a cohesive trading plan for yourself as well. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable risk for disclosure, all trading investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Morning, oh boy, over in YouTube. That's finished there. You might want to come over to our Discord channel. The reason being is, we offer quite a bit more over there. For example, there are many trading rooms that you can attend all day long. There's the Bookmap Academy over there. You can sign up for the Academy. You can get feedback and coaching from your trading. If you're interested in that, go to bookmap.com, click on the More button here, and then under Community, you can go down to Bookmap Academy here. And you can sign up and apply here. It's free. There's no purchase needed. So you will need to have Bookmap. You can have the free version though, if you want, and still participate. And you can go through the process in here in step 1, step 2. As you work your way up by journaling your trading, you can get Bookmap for free actually. So we have a weekly meeting. We have a chat room for all of the traders in there to give feedback, coaching, support, mentoring, etc. It's all included. Like I said, just come on over and sign up. All right, let's continue on here and let's jump into the markets. We're looking at the S&P E-mini, and all right, you love Bookmap. Yep, that's well, let me know if you have any questions over there on YouTube. No problem. Pretty interesting price action here on the non-farm, as you can see right here at 830. The numbers were really good, and the market responded quite favorably to that, as you can see. And look at the move up, look at the move right back down. This is classic order flow, in fact, and it's worth going over this so that anyone new in here can understand what you're looking at and how to read it in Bookmap. All right, so I'm going to go through some basics here for anyone who is new in here, but we won't cover too much on this, just some of the basics, and many of you guys already know who attend these webinars. But let's go through it, and then we're going to go through a process in here that I think everyone will find helpful. Anyway, we'll get into it here in just a minute. Now, what's going on in here? We have the non-farm payrolls, and then look at the area in here. What is Bookmap showing us first off? What you're looking at is only 3 elements on this chart. It is looking at price action. In fact, let me take all of these elements off the chart for now. In fact, let me add stops and icebergs on chart. I want to just deselect them for now. And we'll take off all the elements here, and we're going to look at just the candlesticks for the moment. Okay, so what are we looking at here? 5-minute candlestick. If we go to candlestick settings here, well, this is 1 minute, sorry. Every minute here in this instance, you're getting a candle. And what is it showing? It is showing the aggregated data within this 1 minute time frame. It goes up, it goes down, etc. That's how you get the candle. You only get 4 data points on the candle: open, high, low, and close. This is where that candle opened, right after the data, a non-farm will actually here, this is where it opened. This was the low here, this was the high, and this is where it closed. That's all you get. Okay? And you're trying to read this and understand what happened within this period here of aggregated data, and it's very difficult. Because you can look at your candlestick patterns and go, oh, it's a hammer, it's a shooting star, it's engulfing pattern, whatever it is. But you have a lack of transparency into what's going on. So the first element in the Bookmap chart is to show pure price action. And that's through just showing the best bid and offer, streaming over time. Here it is. This is what happened between this 1 minute period and this 1 minute period here. This low here, actually, let's see here. It's actually this low here is when it started. Right after the data came out, it kind of made a low, immediately moved back up. And then all of this price action here, for example, you don't see in the candle. I mean, it's lost. You don't see that retest back here. And that's essential to understand. Price retested back here, and it rejected and went back up. This is going to be a stop run in here, most likely. And we got stops and icebergs here. It's actually not, surprisingly enough. It's a stop run here, big one to the upside. Anyway, the retest and then back and forth in here, comes back and kind of retests back here, almost to this swing here. And then you can see that there was some support in here somewhere. We don't see it in the candles. We don't see it because we don't have volume in here. We don't have the order book in here. We can't put these pieces together. All right, so that's the relationship or lack of clarity that with the candlestick chart compared to price action. So now we're going to add the second element on here, which is the volume. We're going to put volume dots and bars in here. Now we have a context in here with the price action. Where is that volume transacting? Okay, we don't know that in the candlestick. And probably you're looking at volume in a subchart somewhere, like we have in here in Bookmap as well. That's helpful. It's good, but it's separated here. It's not integrated into the chart. Okay, here we have the context. We have the price action and the volume. So on the move back down, you would expect to see sellers. These red dots market sell orders, hitting the bid, taking price lower, sweeping the order book lower. And then back and forth in here, you see buyers, you see sellers, and then you see buyers. And again, another barrage of selling, and then buyers come right back in and test where those sellers drop from. This whole story in here, sellers dropped it here, buyers came back up above it here, you do not see in the candlestick chart. And this is what we want to understand. Okay? This is where we can start to understand who's in control. And I'm not making this stuff up. You can look right at it and you can see this is where sellers dropped it. No doubt about that. If we draw a line across here, or a rectangle across, look where buyers came back and lifted back up to the swing up here. Sellers give it one more shot. They're only able to take it back down to here. And then buyers come back in again. Okay, so this line right here in this price action at this moment, at this 57.72 3/4 is important. We need to see if buyers are supporting it, and in the volume we can see that it is. Okay, and that is extremely helpful, right? So we're looking for more buyers back up in these areas and lift it back up into this swing or this swing up here. All right, so that's the context of volume. The next one is adding the heat map. The heat map is a very, very simple thing. It looks complex. It's just showing you the liquidity, and that's it. It is showing you high liquidity here on the offer in the heat map form. Let's go to the current market. We'll come back into this 8:30. And guys, sorry to go. I know a lot of you guys are in here. We'll go through the live market action in just a second here. I want to cover the basics, and we're going to look at strategies and developing a strategy from the basics as well. And that's where I think this is going to be helpful for everybody. All right, so for example, look at this right now. We trade into high liquidity up in here. Now we always anticipate a pullback after trading into high liquidity typically. We got the pullback. We're still seeing more buying pressure. All right, buyers, you should be able to lift the market up into the next level of high liquidity up to here, 73, 74, 75. Okay, simple reading right there. And you're already up like 3 points just by understanding that breakout. Here's the high liquidity, the pullback, more buyers, more demand up into these levels up in here. All right, there's a 5-point move in the S&P right there. And you can use that to benefit from. All right, so anyway, let's jump over here to see if there's any questions in here first off. Good morning, Hector, Alois, Stephen, Caesar. All right. All right, so let's take a look here and go back to that 8:30 for just a second here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I wanted to go through the heat map for you, what the heat map is showing. I'm going to jump back to the Trader Map Lite version in here, or Trader Map Pro, to understand the heat map. You're going to get much more from this one here because it takes out this bot action that is kind of skewing the heat map. All right, so let's take a look here. This vertical white line is the separator between the historical action over here and the current market here. This is our current best bid and offer, last transaction, and then our price ladder, and our COB column is showing you liquidity. Okay, this is just limit sell orders above the market and limit buy orders down below. This is your dome, your level 2, whatever you want to call it. It's your depth of market. We can see the number of contracts here for this instrument. And this is the auction. Okay. Now, that's the final element on the Bookmap chart here out of the 3. And it gives us the context we're looking for. We already have the price action. We have the volume within the price action. We've got that context. We already covered it. When we looked at these 2 elements here, let's go back to that 8:30 time frame in here. Okay, so we were looking at just around in here. Now let's add the heat map back on. The areas in here are showing very high liquidity on the bid, and look what happened down here. They transacted, and they come right back in, and they're still showing demand in here at these price levels. Okay, here it transacted, here transacted, and here again. All right, now that's limit buy orders, and this is demand, and they're showing demand in this case is actually the support level as well. There's a difference between supply and demand and support and resistance. Anyway, we're showing support here, and what is the reaction to this though? Are sellers interested in trading into this again? In this case they were here, in this case they were not. This is where we saw the buyers take control. Okay, and like I said, this is where you can put these pieces together, understanding that the sellers here in our 72 level, right, 72 3/4, and drawing that rectangle across here, somewhere around like this. This is the important level. Okay, this is where the buyers took control of the market, and these sellers here trying to take control, and buyers come back up above them as well. Now I'm looking for this 77 level to be the support or the demand level. Okay, and you can see they do come in here. Now, how we want to read this and put it together is understanding the context. Again, are the buyers down here, or do they stay in the book, or are they adding at higher levels? What's the aggressor reaction to it? Is it a magnet? Do they want to transact with these guys down at these price levels, or are they more interested in transacting with the supply and up here with the limit sell orders. And we know this clearly. We can see that there's a lot more aggressive buying, market buy orders, lifting the market up into trade into high liquidity at these levels. Again, now we can look at this and start to look at it in a different way. Okay, as we come up here, we're looking for this supply to transact if they're going to stay in the order book. Well, we get an answer here. A lot of these guys, some of them stayed in the order book here, but some of them transacted, okay, right in here. Okay, they pulled it away from the market and they lifted it up into other areas, or they just pulled it away from the market completely. Now we can start to look at, and in using hindsight here to start to understand these markets. After trading into some liquidity, we can see a bit of a pullback. Again, here, this makes sense. This is where sellers are met with buyers. Okay, and again, up in here, these limit sell orders, the buyers trade into it. We look for a pullback, or maybe a pause in price action before another charge up to high liquidity again. So now, how can we use that? Very simply, start to understand this relationship. Okay, so every time that we trade into high liquidity, not every time, but typically, we see a bit of a pause in here, and it makes sense. This is where the majority of the sellers are, and the buyers met them, and we see it kind of curtail off for a bit. All right, so now, no matter what your trading style is, you can start to put this into a trading plan for yourself and start to look at some of these areas. Okay, so now, for right now, you can see we're trading into high liquidity in here. Okay, now we just traded through it. Okay, and there's more supply here. So sellers coming in, look for them to trade down to 60 and 59 here. And that's what we're looking for. Now, again, this is not a trade recommendation. It's just understanding these markets and how they work. So here's our move into 60. Okay, and we would anticipate a pullback after trading into 60. We got it. Okay, now we are getting more information here. Look at do we find sellers down here? Not really. Okay, let's see if we get them now. Okay, we do. All right, so we should get another pullback in here. Okay, a bit of a pause. Now let's see if we get more sellers in here, right here. And then we'll look for 59 to transact. Not many. All right, so actually now I'm actually looking for some buyers over here at this level here, and let's see if they can pull it up to this 63 level or maybe even 65. Okay, just because that's where the liquidity is, and we didn't see sellers here. Right, so we're looking for demand now, and we're looking for buyers here, and this is how you can start to look for a potential reversal to unfold. Shark, I'll read your question here or your comment in just a second, but this applies absolutely directly to you as well here. Your 1 2 3 pattern in here. This is your 1 2 3 pattern unfolding in front of us. Okay, this is, and we talked about this in the Academy meeting last night, the transition from sell side to buy side, and we're seeing it here on a low time frame starting to unfold. This is how we can start to put the pieces together. Now, we were looking for the move up into 63 liquidity. That has already unfolded, and we would anticipate, again, a pause after that, right? And now we see if we get more supply or more demand. We're getting more demand in here, and now we're charging up to 64 and maybe this 65. It's already at 65. Okay, now we're looking for that here at this point here. That possible move up into where it dropped from up in here, 65. Okay, due to, and it's not magical or anything like that. It's just understanding this process, this auction process. Okay, and that led to us looking for this move up to here. Right, and now we got to see if there's still more demand or supply in here, and where the aggressors are interested in taking this. Let me get to your question, Shark, and you've been working on stacking orders in the brackets. Okay, great. And building a position. This will probably work really well for you in your in something like this. DNT, we covered DNT matter yesterday, and how he he was building a position in there. And I think this might work really well for you if you um, take your size and chop it up into like 3 or 4 partitions or tranches or whatever you want to call them here. Yeah, and we can demo it too. Now, there is, tremendous, there's always risk. If you're trading with a lot of size, you have tremendous risk. And I think that was our comment to DNT Matter yesterday, was like, be very careful with that, knowing that what if you only got in a third of your position in here? Well, you only took third profit. Okay, so you're trying to get on a full position. This is going to happen a lot, and it might be rather frustrating than instead of all in, all out. However, you're going to be able to really manage your risk a lot better. Also taking money out of the market along the way as well. Anyway, is something to really hone and get good at trading that way. And it can be kind of challenging because and frustrating. You might only get a third position on, or you get your full position on, and then it just dumps and stops you out, and that's going to hurt. And that's going to happen, right? And then now you're going to have to kind of look at your risk reward and rethink it a little bit. How you want to manage some of these things. Maybe it's also with adding into positions that are already profitable and then taking some off at key levels of high liquidity. Just that one concept that we just talked about of looking for a pause at high liquidity after trading into high liquidity. That can be really helpful there. So for example, right now you could look for, there's more supply. Okay, this was very short-lived, this little reversal here. It did it. In fact, it did a measured move up to here. And then we see more supply. In hitting demand here, we would anticipate after this very high demand here, a pullback. Now it traded through it a bit, but we are getting that pullback now. So what I'm trying to say here, Shark, is, for example, you'd probably front run this, take some off right in front here. If you're in the short position here, you would take some off here, and then you'd look for a pullback, and if it justifies it, then you would short again, adding into your position again. Good morning, Rob. We missed you yesterday in the Bookmap Academy meeting. Okay, so Alois answered your questions about brackets not working correctly. Yeah, so let me see here, because he's referencing Execution Pro. Yeah, I mean, you might. You can do it using your brackets or even multi brackets, but you should be able to just move them around. It shouldn't be an issue. I don't think I quite understand it. Adding the reversal. Oh, okay. So you're talking about reversals in here is what? Okay, I see. Yeah, it can kind of turn into a quagmire there. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't like opposing directional orders. Well, I mean, you can use OCOs if you want, or don't use brackets at all, and just use limit orders, and that would be fine. And then after you're using limit orders, you can set your OCO orders. That might work well for you. Let me. I can't set some orders at the moment here. I'll try to demo this for you, Shark. But let's see here. Yeah. Almo over in YouTube. Yeah, this is exactly, actually, we kind of started off going over the event here, and I just wanted to show you exactly this in here. I kind of got caught up in things about understanding liquidity and the relationship even during these events in here. Okay, and you're 100% right. Liquidity is very low during the fundamental event. Look at them pull, and look how uniform this is, pulling liquidity. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. It's incredible. Now, this is what I find fascinating, is look where, I mean, you can't get much more visual than that, right? This is where these guys are staying in the order book. This level down here at 42.5, this level up here at 92.5. Okay, 50-point spread. And where did price go? Right up to where there is liquidity here. This is how the markets work. This is where the buyers met the sellers up here, right? And we can zoom in here. We can understand this at a much lower time frame and take a look at this here. These are the transactions here. And now it's kind of, it's all over the place in here because of this fundamental event. We have a wider spread and things are happening. We're down at the millisecond level. I mean, we can go into micro and nanosecond level as well, but you can see that it's pretty wild in here. Pretty, a lot going on, lots of orders. But it traded into this high liquidity up here, and it didn't quite get to and trade into this very high liquidity up here. Well, it's just 46 contracts. But like you said, liquidity is very low during these times. People don't know what the news is, and they're not going to take the risk. And that's why you see this pulling of liquidity across the board here, a bid and the offer. So again, this just kind of illustrates how these markets work. Okay? The more that we can understand how the markets work, the better our trading is going to be. All right. So you have to understand the environment that you're in. If you're an athlete, you have to understand the environment that you're in. You have to understand the opponent you're playing against, etc. So this is the same thing, and Bookmap does quite a nice job of showing that environment. All right. So Shark, before I get into some of the questions or answering your question in here, I want to add in and demo this new feature for you guys. So let's go to the I think I demoed it to you in the webinar the other day. I'm not sure which webinar it was, but let's go through it again. It's called multi-account trading. Right, so let's connect to it. It's right now it's only in beta, and if you guys are interested in this, we can give it to you. And if you're interested in you will partake in the beta process and beta testing, and I'm going to put it in here for you right now. Okay, if you're interested in it, reach out to us at beta@bookmap.com. Okay, there it is, and sign up there, or we'll get back to you there. All right, so I'm going to put it over here in YouTube as well. All right, so let's get into this multi-account. This is great for, like, for example, fast track trading. They're offering the funded account traders program, and if you're interested in them, you can go over and sign up with them. You will get Bookmap for free. It's included in their program. So you can look into the details there. I'll let you do it. But let's look at setting up a bot in here and looking at the accounts. Okay, so we can open up an account in here. No sub account, right? About this one. Huh. Interesting. All right. So it doesn't exist. All right. So we'll make a new one in here then. Should work. I don't have sub accounts. This is a demo account here, so I'm not able to demo this this morning. Sorry. Let's see. No, I don't think I'll be able to demo this in here. I only have the primary account, so that's unfortunate. Might be another way to do this here. No, not at this point. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. Well, we can definitely at least connect to the primary account here. Okay. No, I think actually I think I can. Let me try it again here. Oh, I'll lose everything. Ah. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm sorry. I will not be able to demo it today. However, what I wanted to demo was that you can trade from this chart here from your Trader Map Lite. We offer trading now from the Trader Map Pro and Trader Map Lite, and you can route your trades to multiple accounts. Okay, so if you're trading like 5 different accounts at the same time for fast track trading, for example, you can trade off of this chart with one contract. You can have it multiplied, in fact, across all 5 accounts, and you can even have different sizing and percentages of your account. So maybe in one lot here on this account would be maybe 2 or 3 in lots in another account, right? Anyway, yeah, I'll have to go over in more detail on Monday with you on that. Yeah, there's a couple limitations there. Anyway, let's take a look here. Let's go through the order flow. Sorry about that, Shark. Yeah, you can trade in sim mode as well. You can see though that I am connected down here in the lower right hand corner. I'm connected to the real trading because I wanted to demo this new functionality, but I won't be able to demo it today. So no, Stephen, you can trade into you love the simulator. Yeah, you can trade into your yeah, that's what I thought. Alois is Alois is awesome. You should be able to trade into other accounts in here. So yeah, from your drop down there, as Alois is pointing out here, you can trade to the with the cross trading from the ES chart into the MES. Okay, so you'll just need to select it from the cross trading drop down. Right? I think that answers your question. Yeah, you will have to open the other chart. That's for sure. Yeah, you will have to have the ES and the MES open, I believe. Yeah, and the cross trading is the functionality is in the here. Let me show you here. Okay, so it's this section here that you select from the drop down. See, for example, right here, I'm off the ES rhythmic chart here that has the bot. I can trade into my MES micro or my regular ES, but this is the 24/7 simulator account, and that's what I have selected here. So now we can trade off of this chart, and we can trade with some size here as well, because I've got like we've been demoing this so that we can see how it works with like 100 lot or something. Anyway, Yeah, it's in the trade control panel. That's correct, Stephen. Yeah, right click in here and you'll see add panel and then add the cross trading. Okay. All right, let's jump back to the Trader Map Lite, and unfortunately I will not be able to trade from this chart. But that's okay. We'll read the order flow and go through it and see what we get here. All right. All right, let's take a breather here for a second, and then we'll go back to where we left off, talking about understanding from the chart, going kind of back in time and understanding the relationship between these three elements on the chart and using them to profit from. Okay, so look at the high liquidity in here. Now this is what's telling us something, and this is telling us something really important right here. We have a lot of buyers in here on the bid, okay, in this Trader Map Lite here, and we see sellers come in and trade into it and through it. Typically we look, especially with this kind of liquidity in here, like we said before, typically we look for a bounce out of that area here. Now it doesn't mean reversal, it just means that we see high liquidity transact and we usually get a bounce. Okay, and then it comes back and trades into it again, because this is where there's demand, supply meets demand, and then you know, we see maybe a bit of a pause at least. We see maybe this, look at this pause in here. It's very short, and there's very few buyers in here. So it did a little bit, I guess, but what happened in here? Well, there's just a ton more sellers. They come in. Not only do they trade into this high liquidity here and this high liquidity under here, they keep sweeping the order book lower. Okay, they trade all the way back down to this liquidity here and then to this liquidity down here at this 70 level. Okay, now 70, that kind of rings a bell, right? 70 was down over here. So in fact, let's draw up a horizontal line here at our 70 level. Okay, and that's the area we covered over here where we saw the bounce and all that buying coming in. Okay, so this is a critical area for today. Okay, and we can see we did bounce there. And now, where did we bounce to? Let's just look at this behavior in here, because this is what we want to comprehend. And this is how we can start to put this into a trading plan for ourselves. Okay, high liquidity, and it was based off a higher time frame. And then we do get the bounce here. And then this liquidity, it blazed right through it, traded right through it very, very quickly here. Okay, this is where we look for a retest, a back up into here. And we can draw a horizontal line across that area here too. Okay, somewhere around in here. Now let's see where that retest went to. Okay, just about to it. Okay, so you can see the buyers come back and retest back to where these sellers came in. In fact, it nails this one pretty well here, where they dropped it from. Retest, and then what do we see up here? Okay, well, high liquidity trades here, a little bit here, doesn't quite get there, and the sellers come back in. All right, and again in here, it right into this high liquidity and through it, but back down to this level, and then the bounce. Actually, this is kind of reminiscent, Valley fan, to what you were showing yesterday in the Bookmap Academy meeting with your pivot levels, your R3 and R4. If you don't see a reaction here at liquidity, in this case, you're looking for more sellers to trade through it, but look for the next level. And then how does it react at that next level? Typically, if it, you know, because we know that there's some buyers here, they traded. and you probably don't get enough sellers down here. That's why you're going to get a bounce. Okay, and then do we get enough buyers though to take it higher? Absolutely not. This is a low volume pullback in here. Sellers in control of the market from this point here and moving that market low. Right, so you can see that we nailed it here with this is where it dropped from up here. This is where it came back to retest, and then we see that there's still more supply in here. Okay, taking that market lower. Right. All right, so again, we're just going through the chart here and starting to understand the reaction in here, and this is how you can start to develop it into a trading plan for yourself. Okay, so and if you're, let's just go through an example of let's just look at something in here in the chart action or price action, what's happening here right now. Let's see here. I mean, we're going to see patterns in here, or certain things in here, and let's look for a pattern in here. Okay, so here's a potential reversal pattern right here. Okay, it's in a downtrend, sellers, and then lack of sellers, buyers starting to come in. They broke this level here, and there's buyers above it. Okay, so now let's look at maybe a trend line here, and let's see if and they're just starting to break it. The sellers are. Okay, so now let's see if we get a reaction off of this high liquidity here. Okay, there we go. Now what's the reaction? Okay, we got a little bit of buyers, not much, and they actually trade right into high liquidity here as well. Okay, so I need to see buyers back up above that area here, or I need to see sellers below this area here. So that's what I'm looking for. Buyers back up above, then I would be looking for it to trade up to here. If we get sellers back down to here, then I'm looking for it to trade into all of this liquidity, okay? Especially this liquidity here. Okay, our buyers are coming back in, so we're looking for the move back up into this area up in here. Okay, so it's the reaction to this in here, in that context that we're looking for. Okay, now we traded. Now if you're trend line trader, you'd be looking at some other things in here as well. In fact, let's get rid of, or let's draw another trend in. Maybe you'd be looking for the off the backside of this, and then sellers to come in and then trade back down. Okay, well, we're getting our answer. No, we're not getting that. We're getting more buyers to trade up into this liquidity up in here. Right, so this is our initial scenario that we covered. We're looking for it to trade back up into this area here, and we're getting it. Now, what's the condition up here in this auction? So right now, we can see that the liquidity pulled up in here. So what does that mean? Well, if we get more buyers in here, they're going to reach for the next level up to 65, 66. Let's take a look at our bigger pattern now here. How is this unfolding? Let's get rid of this line that we drew. How's this unfolding? Well, we see the sellers, high liquidity getting filled on the bid, and what about our reversal pattern in here? Okay, so lack of sellers into this high liquidity here at 50. Buyers come in and break the structure again. Now some back and forth in here. Okay, now what we need to see, if we're going to get a nice reversal pattern out of this, we need to see buyers back up here again. A lack of sellers on this pullback, buyers coming in, looks pretty good. All right, looking for buyers to trade up to 65, and maybe we can get our breakout and trade up to this 70 level up here, and that would complete the pattern. Right, so and how does it complete the pattern? It's trending pretty nicely here, so I'm still looking for buyers to take this up into these levels here. Okay, just simple, looking for very, very simple things in here, and understanding the relationship of the liquidity, and understanding the the aggressors and the price structure in here. All right, so hi John, welcome. I'll answer your question here in just a second. I also want to go over another thing in here about this reversal pattern, okay, and our expectations regarding this reversal pattern. Let's look at a measured move here. All right, because any trading book on technical analysis is going to be pretty similar. You're going to look for a measured move for that pattern to complete. Now, then we look for it up to 68. And is there liquidity there? Yes, there is. All right. So let's see if we can get our buyers again to complete the pattern up into 68. Maybe we can get up higher, 70, 74, maybe back up even higher than that. All right. So John, let's see. Okay, you're trying to understand volume, liquidity, etc. Well, this is the place actually to ask these questions. This is precisely the place. So I can answer them for you right now. Right. So here, guys, this was our anticipated move, right? 68 and 70. I would be out up here, okay, or at least some I would be out. My pattern is complete. My reversal, it did what it was supposed to do. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to chop here or do something else, but this was my anticipation or expectation, and this is where I'd be managing my trade up into these levels here. Okay? And I would be taking, for sure, I would be taking some off up there. So, John, let's go through this again. All right. How much trading experience do you have? Have you been doing this for a while, or are you kind of new to trading? And how do you trade? What type of methods or strategies are you looking for? Let's also go over another thing in here, John, I think would be very helpful. I forgot to show this earlier. If you go to bookmap.com, okay, this will be very helpful for you. Go to bookmap.com and then click on education here. That'll take you to our Bookmap Learning Center. And you can go through these little courses that we have. We have 3 courses here, and then we have all sorts of other videos here. And I want to go through this in a little bit of detail here for you guys, for newer traders in here. So when you come in here, the first you can see, are you new here? Get connected, getting started, and join some live events. So you're in the event, John. Let's go over get connected. This is, there's this section here, get connected to data, and this will help you get connected. And then this one here, getting started. Okay, there's also, how to get the platform, and how to connect to some data here, how to add a symbol, and then an overview of Bookmap. Those 3 elements on the chart that we went through. Okay, this is the Getting Started course, and it should help you a lot. It should answer a lot of questions for you on how to use Bookmap. Now, this is important because it's how to use Bookmap, how to read it and use it. Now, the next course here is what I would recommend. At least start with part 1 of the basic market mechanics here. This is important. And why is it important? Because it will show you in here how these markets work, what we kind of covered earlier, and it's essential to understand that. And then we go through in diagrams in here, stuff like this, that you understand that, here we have the best bid, the best offer, the best bid, and this is the aggressor who moved price lower into these areas in here, etc. So you can understand, a shift in the order book, an imbalance, and how the market reacts to that. We already talked about that in the live market. But understanding this concept in here will be very helpful to take it to the next level. Okay, and continue to ask questions in here. right? All right, so there's more to the Learning Center than just that. Let's just go back here. So there's also strategies and setups. We only have a couple in here right now, but we will be adding more in the future. We have a continuation pattern, and we also show again what it looks like in diagram form, and then in Bookmap, and then how to execute it with a checklist in here. What are the things you're looking for? We have a reversal pattern here. Right now, it's only in diagram form, and we just went through it in the live market. It is exactly this one here. Okay, it's kind of a inverse head and shoulders. It's kind of a wonky looking one, but it's still there. This would be the head here, shoulder, head, and then 3 shoulders here on the right hand side, right? Okay, let's see. Yeah, another thing in the Learning Center I think you'll find helpful. Let's go back. And that is back here. Every day, live streaming events, several. These are all our streamers, as you can see. And you can go down to the calendar in here and you can click on the event. So for example, this event here today, this is the All Markets webinar. You can sign up here in Discord. You can add it to your calendar for a reminder, etc. All right. So yeah, we've got lots of things in here. You're in the right place. You're asking the right questions in the right place. All right. So now our event in here, or this pattern in here, if this is what you're trading. Been trading for about 5 years. Okay. That volume you get sound on some of the channels trading. Okay, not sure I quite understand, and I see Dan's reaching out to you. Alois already got to all of this and before me again. Just incredible. So yeah, that Learning Center will help you a lot. Right, that should get you going, and then come to these live events, and you may even consider going to the Bookmap Academy. You can go to you'll find it if you go to our website, your community. All right. So it's a great support group, as well as like we said, you can journal your trading, get some coaching, and some feedback. Okay, and you can get Bookmap for free as well if you make the thresholds and the quotas. All right, let's see here what's happening now. So we're looking for that move into 70, and we got the chop. That was anticipated. It was a measured move. And then we don't know what's going to happen after that. Okay, we're looking for the next thing. And right now, boy, I don't know. It's kind of choppy. I do see a few things I like, though. That we see buyers come in, and we see a lot of liquidity up in here. See how it was orange and it pulled. So what does that mean? Well, it means if you find buyers at this top edge up in here at this 70 level, and there's more demand in here, there's not supply here with these limit sell orders to absorb all that demand. So what happens? We get price movement higher. Okay, and so now we're looking for the next level, 72, to transact. Okay, now it's not a guaranteed thing. Maybe we exhaust out. We don't find any more buyers. Okay, well, we just found a bit more, and now we got our move. Okay, it's trading up into 72. Okay, now the question is, we got to go through the same process. Traded up at 72. What do we anticipate? A pullback, or just maybe just price action kind of slows down for a little bit, and then we're going to ascertain the supply and demand after that. Okay, now look at the behavior in here. It's a little different now. Okay, we traded in here, but there's more sellers that came in here, and the buyers took them on. Okay, and then we see that they totally absorbed that buying pressure here. These limit buy orders here in the heat map. Okay, this color in here in the heat map absorbed that buying pressure. And now we come back up again, and now we exhaust out on the buy side. There's no buyers up here, very few. Okay, so we see sellers take it back down to where? You just can't make this stuff up. Down to 70 because that's where the liquidity is. Okay, now we're finding more buyers, and they're pulling up in here at the last second. All right, should be able to hit 74, 75. Okay, there's our move into 74, and we would anticipate a pullback. Now, do we get more demand in here? Let's take a look. Okay, because I'm looking for 75. There we go. Okay, pretty strong move. Let's zoom out. Let's take a look at the context in here. Pretty strong buying, but high liquidity here at 75. Yeah, I'm actually looking for a bit of a pullback, maybe back down to this 70 level in here. Okay, what about this again? This context. Well, we're trending to the upside, so this next level might be our target here at 80. Okay, let's zoom in and let's take a look at the supply and demand again. Okay, so we get our pullback in here, or some back and forth. Now they're on the bid here. Okay, see them bidding up at a higher level here. That's bullish. Okay, the question is, do we get our aggressive buyers? I'm looking for them right here. And if we get them, yeah, there they are. Okay, we should be able to hit 75. And let's see it, buyers. Back and forth. No, not yet. A little bit more. Let's see it. Let's see. We got to get our buyers up here. Nope. Okay, and we get them again up here. Let's see it. It's looking for those buyers. There they are. Okay, let's see if we can get a move back up into 75 now. It's a battle in here between the buyers and sellers. Okay, we're back though with buyers again. All right, so let's see them move it back up into 75. Still looking for it here. No, can't do it. All right, so we're still kind of range bound between 72 and 74. Okay, that just transacted. Okay, this is getting interesting. So now we would anticipate a pullback, and let's see if we can get not only a pullback, but a move back to the top of the range here at 74. Okay, and then maybe we can get our buyers here. All right, let's see it here. We traded a little bit lower. Now we're looking for our buyers, and we're looking for 74. Charge up into that. Okay, so 74. And now if we get enough up in here, maybe we can get to 75 here. So yeah, the order flow is starting to kind of shift and change a little bit in here. A little more supply coming down lower here. There we go. There's our move. All right, now, and they're starting to pull up here at 70, 75, 74 and a half. Okay, so we just need some more buyers in here and we can get back up into those levels. Starting to pull at 74. There we go. Now that pull in that last second in here didn't, it didn't happen until we got kind of up here, and then they started to pull. See how it's kind of dark right in there? Okay, now this move, it unfolded. It took a while here though. And this may happen. Right? It's an auction process, and the auction ebbs and flows quite a bit. Is Bookmap making level 2 useless? Well, I think, Paul, it's a question about how you use your level 2. We've got a lot of traders who come to Bookmap, and the first thing that they or that they studied was maybe trading from the dome or reading the price ladder, as well as level 2 in stocks. So they're very accustomed to it, and it's just kind of habit for them, creatures of habit, and they just like to trade it. So it's for them it's still valuable. Okay, and what are they doing though? They're looking for the at the price ladder at very specific times. Okay, so for example, we can add the price ladder in here as well. We can add it in the columns here, or the COB column here is basically our price ladder. But we can also add in the Dome Pro tool here. Not supported on this instrument. Okay, so it will be supported soon. Okay, but we can go to the original one here, the ES, and then open up Dome Pro here, okay, and then enable it. And here's your price ladder. Okay, so you've got it in Bookmap. So it's here, and you can use this if you like as well. All right, so we have these tools, but it's up to you. What I'm trying to get at is it depends on your style. Like, for me, I just look for the price action in the here and the now, just as we're reading it in here. Do we get our buyers in here? All right, what's that context between supply and demand? Then we look for the move to unfold. Right. So one of the benefits, though, that we have in Bookmap that does make the dome or price ladder and level 2 a little more obsolete is that only works for the current market. Okay, so if you look at your dome in here, you're only seeing the here and the now. You don't see the historical view of this, because these numbers in here, they change and it's updated, and that's it. What was there before is not accessible. So you're looking for flurries of activity, maybe in your level 2. Well, you can see that right here in Bookmap as well. You see the move back down here pretty quickly now, right? So we found some sellers up here. Okay, sellers take it right back down to liquidity here. Okay, so now our sellers going to move this market. Maybe they'll move it down into 72 and 71.5 here. See, and a lot of people using their level 2, they're just looking for that flurry of activity at specific areas. Same with the dome. Well, we can see it here in Bookmap as well. These are your flurries here. Look at the size of the dots, the transactions. Okay, also the flurries in the order book in here. Very high liquidity, adding and pulling of that liquidity in here. It's just here you can see it now historically, and that's what we've been using here to kind of develop potential strategies in this webinar. Understanding the context, we're trading into high liquidity, we're looking for a pullback, and then we're going to look again and see. That's how we read the move up to the 70 level, and then we're looking again and starting to read this breakout here, and if would it unfold or not. Yep. You're welcome, Paul. Let's see, any questions over in YouTube? No, it's not possible to trade into the TOS account, but you can. Bookmap is integrated within Thinkorswim. Oh boy! So you can trade off of your Thinkorswim active trader or whatever it is in there, and you should be able to see your. I think you'll be able to see your orders at least on the Bookmap chart in there. Not sure about that. Oh, you're welcome, Zoltan. How to read the order book. Um, yeah, this is the funny thing. It's I'm glad to see the response there. Um, what's funny about it is the how simple it is actually, and how it applies to any trading strategy. Let's take a look. I mean, we can go through the candlesticks, for example. A lot of people trade candlestick patterns. All right, let's take a look here. And uh, this is a 1 minute candlestick chart. All right, well, let's take a look at, well, maybe one, we can stick with a 1 minute. All right, so this would, if we get a breakout up here and close on the 1 minute candle up here, that would be bullish, right? And you'd look for a move to where? Probably right up to here, top of the range. Okay, there's our close. Now it closed within that candle. Okay, so that would not be a buy. Okay, but what is Bookmap showing you? Well, it shows you what happened between these two candles and what's happening also in the current market. So I don't really care about the candle. I don't care about the close of the period. I don't even know how this relates to the price action for the day. Candles I like for the daily chart, but for intraday I think is kind of useless, to be honest. Well, not useless, but it's just why. I mean, the candle. Why divide up the time for the intraday? But for a session, that makes sense to me. Okay, so for the daily chart, that makes good sense. It opened this day, it closed this day, and then there's another day and a new session. But a 1 minute session, no, that doesn't make any sense to me. But you can still read, use these and read these. Okay, so we didn't get our buyers back up in here in the ES. Actually, this candlestick chart, this wouldn't have been a buy in here because it closed into this range in here. Now, would it be a sell in here? Yeah, it closed down here. This would be your sell. So it's not bad. It's kind of working here. Where would you look for it to go? Well, back down to the swing here, and it's already done it. In this case, the candles, this red bar here, gave you some pretty good insight. Okay, for your candlestick pattern. All right, let's read the next one. All right, so do we get continuation? So far, so good. Look for the next swing here. Okay, it's already done it. Look for the next one down here. We're getting a big red bar here. Okay, well, let's read the order flow within it. Actually, let's go back to this chart here and we'll read the order flow on it. We'll add the candlestick chart here. Yeah. And we're looking at a 5 minute here. 5 minutes fine. We can look at a 5 minute as well. Okay, so yeah, here's your hammer. Now, look at this hammer, or shooting star, I should say. Look at this one up here. Look at all this buy volume up here. It's within the wick only. So this is going to be all these longs being squeezed to the downside. So I'm looking for more sellers here to reach this level of liquidity here, and this should coincide with the candlestick pattern. Okay, so looking for the move down into these lower levels here. But how do I know that? How do I know that? Well, look at all this buying up in here. Okay, they're within the wicks. Usually the wick is a lot of times what you see in the wick is exhaustion or lack of buying up in here, lack of interest. In this case, it's quite the opposite. There's a ton of buying up in the wick, and it's lopsided. If we can go back and look at our stops and icebergs in here, and we will, but we're looking for a squeeze to the downside here. We're getting it, and we're just trading into our 63 level right now, where the buyers are waiting to get filled in these levels here. Okay, you can probably go, we're going to get a little bit of a bounce here, but let's see if we can get back down into this 62 and maybe 60 level here. Okay, because of all of these buyers up here. Now let's jump back and take a look at stops and icebergs here. in the chart. Actually, we can look at them right on the Trader Map Lite version as well, but on chart only, not subchart. It's fine. So, and we can also, in the subchart here, we'll be looking for that squeeze, and you can see these are a lot of stops here, this red line here. Let's jump back to the Trader Map Lite. Yeah, so see the red dot here, some pretty big iceberg stops here. The blue are iceberg orders, which we can go over in a minute here, but for those not accustomed to it, the red is our stop. So 163 contracts of stop orders transacted here, 115 and another 165 down here. Okay, so pretty big run, big enough. Now maybe it's over. Maybe we zoom in here, we trade into some of this liquidity down here, and people are all stopped out. Maybe we find buyers try to bring it where? Right back to where it dropped from. Okay, so maybe right back into about this 72 level here. Again, just understanding supply and demand in here. All right, so we went over the candlestick trading, and we look for this level here to transact in the candlestick, which it already did. Okay, now we're looking for a retest back up to here, because we're understanding the trap traders or the demand up here having to sell and get stopped out and cover on the way down here. So we're looking for kind of a natural move back up to where it dropped from, for the market to just kind of float back up into that area. Okay, and probably on light buy volume, to be honest. Okay, because these are the stops here, heavy selling, and it doesn't. This is kind of a vacuum, basically. That heavy selling in here, and after that heavy selling, do we find a lot of buyers interested in taking it back up here? We're not finding that many, or we're finding some. You can look at the condition of the the size and color of the dots in here. And that's how you can get your low volume pullbacks to these areas in here. Actually, you know what? I might be able to show you a better concept here. We look at crypto markets. A tick size 10. Let's try it. I mean, you see this in crypto all the time. Okay. Okay, well, this is a little different product, actually. It's this multi-book product. You know, what we're talking about is that this move here, here's that heavy selling coming in, and look how a market just kind of floats back up to where it dropped from here, and on very light volume. Look at this heavy selling in here on the bars. Look at the volume here on the buy side. Okay, this is where you really want to kind of key in. Because this offers, if the sellers remain in control in here, and in this case they did, you can see them kind of curl back in right in here, and you look for them to trade it back down to the bottom of the swing, and maybe they can trend trade through it and continue on. There's not a whole lot of demand in here to move it after this heavy selling. So when you guys see like a spread change, that's what the best thing to show in here is, and maybe I can show it in on an order book sweep. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is what I mean in here. We're using the ES for this. This is an order book sweep in here, and what is it mostly that's moving this market? You can see this red line in here is mostly stops. 172 are stop order transactions cascading. It's a stop run. Look how the best bid and offer update after. That's how the market works. This data comes in first, the transaction data, and then best bid and offer update after this event completes. This is the order of operations in here, and then we see the update. This is like a vacuum that I'm talking about. So the market can easily float back up to here on very light volume. In fact, not even only one transaction is all it takes to move price back up here. All right, so yeah, anyway, I think you understand my point. That's what we see in the bigger picture here on some of these low volume pullbacks, like this one here in crypto. All right, the ES did it as well. More selling in here, a little bit more buying though compared to crypto. All right, so and then what was our anticipated direction on that? Trading back down to high liquidity, okay, into high liquidity again on some of these levels here. All right, now we traded into it. We pulled back on, again, very light volume. Okay, so this is how you can start to piece together a trend trading strategy for yourself, is simply look for light volume on a pullback and look for the sellers to come back in and take price lower again. Okay, so now how do we, this is where we can wrap this all up, we can take a look here, and the high liquidity that transacts here on the bid, and we anticipate a pullback after that, right? Covered that in the very beginning of the webinar. We get the pullback. Okay, so now we've noticed this phenomena. We're looking for a pullback after high liquidity. It transacts. Okay, now if we're in a trending environment, which we are, we look for a pullback on light volume and then sellers to come in again. Or we can even add a lot more into this. We can look for a high liquidity on the offer. It doesn't even tangle with it. Or we can look for exhaustion on the buy side. See these little areas in here? There's no buying in here. It's just the best offer. And we see more sellers coming in, more sellers coming in, more sellers coming in. Here's, again, exhaustion on the buy side here. More sellers. We're looking for sellers now to move it into here and through that area in here. And we got it. Now we trade back down into this liquidity. We're looking for a pullback, maybe even back to here. Okay, on light buy volume. And this is how you can start to put together a strategy yourself. Okay, using liquidity heat map and the price structure and the volume. Okay, and again, we're looking for lack of buying, sellers to come in and trade back down to the next levels of liquidity. Okay, so far so good. And they're pulling too. So maybe it can go down lower, 55. Now, put this into a strategy. You're trending and you're looking for maybe a test down to 57.50, the figure. Anyway, guys, a lot of ideas in here. We've got to go. We've got to end the webinar. Thank you for coming, everybody. Please, over in YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Better yet, just come over to our YouTube channel. I'm sorry, come over to our Discord channel here. We're going to continue on with streams for the rest of the day here. Tom B is up next. He's going to go through volume profile. So we went through candlesticks, trends, understanding the relationship of liquidity and volume, and he's going to go through profiles, looking at volume profiles and understanding mean reversion or trends, pullbacks, other patterns that volume profile traders trade. Right. So yeah, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, come on over to our YouTube channel, I'm sorry, our Discord channel, and you're going to get a lot more. There's lots of resources over there, as well as like I said, interaction with a bunch of our traders. So there's no cost to it. I think you'll find it beneficial. All right, so thank you for coming, everybody. Over on Discord, we can hang out for a couple more minutes longer here, and let me see if you haven't answered all the questions for you. All right, so we'll end the YouTube stream for now.